Hi, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois Worknet. I am doing an DHS Youth technical assistance call right now, and I've got a couple of new things to show you. We have the attendance poll up on the screen. One thing that I do want to show everyone, and this is going to be kind of hard to read because it's on my notepad and I can't make it any bigger because it's a notepad. But the organizations that are on this list need to update your partner information in Service Finder. And to get to Service Finder, you can follow the directions on the partner resource page for DHS Youth Partners. And if you need to update some contact information, I have a whole list of what everybody needs to do. So I'm going to, excuse me, call upon Brandon Bax and Mike Sandage to help me get this rectified by December 1st, because many of you are way beyond updating. This is supposed to be updated every 6 months. So if you are on this list, I need you to take action on your partner listing, your Service Finder location listing on Illinois Worknet by December 1st. All right, so make note of this if you are on the call. If there are people that are not on the call, then I need Mike and Brandon to follow up with them so that we can get these up to date. And I know you guys got a little bit of time in your day to spend 10 minutes to make these updates. There is information, just to reiterate, there is information on the Service Finder. So if I go to Illinois Worknet, and if you go to updates and assistance, sorry, Network and Connect, Illinois Worknet Service Finder, there is a way once you are logged in that you can make updates to the information on this page for your organization. We need this fixed by December 1st. All right. Okay, next thing that I want to show you is on Illinois Worknet, we've made a couple of updates. We have some more updates that will be coming. Our programmer is working on them now. But the one piece that I want to show you is on a customer's profile, if you go to the Assessments tab and you add Casey Life Skills assessment results, I discovered that the results box was not big enough to put in all of the result information that you may have found with your Casey Life Skills assessment. So we have now changed this to paragraph format so that you have lots of character space to enter the information. And on the instructions for your assessments, we have how and where to find this. So it is clicking on the add assessment results, and then you need to select other assessment from the options. You need to select skills from the assessment category, and then you need to select Casey Life Skills. Then this will automatically come up. You'll enter the date, and then you'll enter the results of your assessment on Casey Life Skills. If you find that you still do not have room, I believe you've got a lot of characters. If you still find out you don't have enough room, let me know. We will expand it further. And then all you have to do is select these bottom checkboxes about how you performed the assessment, click save, and then it will show up and you'll be able to view the results at any time. Okie doke, that's it for that one. Then under the progress page for, somebody needs to mute themselves if they're going to talk while I'm talking. On the progress page, if you select categories, various categories, your subsidized wage time frame is expanded. Anthony, I'll get to that in just a minute. Your subsidized wage time frame is expanded for category 2 to 9 months. It is expanded for category 3 and 4 to 12 months or 365 days. And category 1 is still 90 days. Brandon informed me that if you roll a youth from the category 1 to one of the other categories, that the subsidized wage will continue rolling until you reach a maximum of 365 days, no matter what category you have your youth enrolled. We are testing the tracking of that into the dashboard. And so if you select your program here under the program category of one of these items, you will be able to filter. We are changing the wording down here from 90 days to maximum time period. And on the next steps, we are adding words to indicate how many days are per each category. And then you'll be able to follow through to check on these numbers. And then after that, removing them from subsidized wage is the same as it was with any of the other programs that you may have been involved with. Those are all in instructions on the partner page. Then the last piece that we updated is on the application. So if I go to one of these customers, let me find somebody. Oh, that's an employer. Sorry, I need to go back to my other dashboard. Sorry. If I go to one of my customers, we did have a request for getting the application able to be printed for paper records, if you would like that. So in test, we have the ability to print the application and it will show up just like this so that you can print it off. And then the case manager can sign it and you can add a date to it. This will be pushed to production tomorrow so that we can have this out and available for you. Okay, we had a question from Anthony about Casey Life Skills. So Casey, if you, Anthony, if you want to unmute your microphone, then you can ask your question.
Yeah, thanks so much for all the updates and that you guys are pushing. Great stuff coming out. With the other assessment, adding Casey Life Skills to the Illinois Worknet, I'm noticing that you're using a paragraph structure, but Casey Life Skills doesn't quite publish in like a paragraph narrative. Is that our interpretation that we're putting in there? Do you see what I'm saying? I could share screen with you and show you what I mean when I, have a redacted version of Casey Life Skills results so that you can see what I'm talking about in real time.
I would prefer to do that when I'm not recording.
Sure.
So if you want to wait until we're done, then I'll stop the recording and then you can share your screen so I can see what it does.
Sure.
All right. If there's a way to synopsize it, maybe, and that can be
I just want to make sure that we understand we're on the same page, right? That what Carrie and Brandon are looking for versus what we're seeing and what we're reporting are all in sync. That's really what I'm hoping for. That's
okay.
Synergy.
All right. And if as long as I'm not recording, it doesn't necessarily have to be redacted.
Understood.
All right. So now let me see if I missed any other questions here. I don't see anything else. Brandon, since you have a pretty large audience, would you like to share any updates or information?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Earlier you said about the enrollment in the different categories, and you said the maximum is 365 days or 12 months. That's true, but it does go by category. So the youth can only be enrolled in one category at a time, and they can move to, for some reason it doesn't work out, or they finish in one category and they're moving to another category. But the maximum amount of time for subsidized wages is unique to that category. So it would really only come into effect for categories 1 and 2, because category 1 is 90 days, as everyone knows, the summer youth employment program. So if a youth has already had subsidized wages for over 90 days, they couldn't go into category 1, because category 1's a 90-day limit.
But they could go into category 2, which is a 9-month limit. And so they would have a maximum of 90 days plus 9 months for a maximum total of 12 months. That's what I understood from one of our admin team meetings.
Okay, well, what I just was talking with Carrie Reuter about a few days ago is that it goes by the category. So that wouldn't be true. So if they're in category 2, the maximum they get is 9 months, no matter what. I mean, so if they've already used up 7 months, they would only have 2 months left.
Okay.
So it goes by the category.
All right.
Because let me give you an example. The exact question was, someone asked me about, they're doing category 3 and category 1. Okay, so they want to move a youth from category 3 into category 1, which wouldn't happen until like May or June when they go into category 1. But if they had already had 6 months of subsidized wages, they're done. They can't go into category 1. That was the exact.
Well, I can't see them going backwards anyway, like that, but. All right, so.
It probably will only come into effect when they want to do summer employment and they want to go from category 1 or categories 2, 3, or 4 to category 1. That's when it would really come into play.
Okay, but if they move from category 1, which is the 90 days, then they would have an additional 6 months if they move to category 2, or
Correct.
an additional 9 months if they move to category 3 or 4.
Correct. And it's only for subsidized wages too. So like a lot of the new providers, remember, you don't have to pay subsidized wages. This is only for subsidized.
Correct. Okay. All right. Does that answer everybody's question? Or probably mine more than anybody's. Okay. And then Ariel says, am I able to remove a name of a youth who did not complete the application and is not going to submit? If they never finished and submitted the application, they're just going to kind of hang out there in limbo. Now, one of the things that we will need to discuss at an admin team level is on this dashboard, are we going to keep this row after a certain period of time? So we need it initially because they started the application but didn't finish it. But otherwise, these numbers, we're not going to count them against you if that makes any difference to you. But we need to know who's in there and who you might need to follow up with. So I don't think we'll be, what if they were not of age? If they were not of age, I mean like they weren't 16 or they weren't 18. If they're too old, they can't even start the application. Yeah, they can't, goodness. Yeah, I don't know, Ariel, that's, they're supposed to be triggered that maybe they put the wrong birth date in, but they were triggered because I tried to enter an application and I put the wrong birth year in and it told me I couldn't finish it. So if you have a specific example, send it to me by, thank you, by email with the name and the email address of the user. All right, so Camilla is saying, so for category 3, subsidized wages can be paid to you if the provider chooses, because I was told this category cannot be ran in that manner. Brandon?
Category 3 and 4, you can pay subsidized wages up to 12 months. Is that the question?
Yeah, well,
You can pay subsidized wages in all the 4 categories. They just have different lengths of time, maximums.
and then, okay, so she, Camilla says, thank you for clarification. Beach is asking, what about a stipend while in training? Is that different than the subsidized wage for category 3?
Yes, it is different, and I mean, I would have to look at and I am looking at it now.
Yeah, per the NOFO, it is different.
It is, but it all counts towards the maximum.
Right. Like you can only apply that stipend at the top or the beginning of their training for a different amount of time, depending on which category you're talking about. 3 weeks, 3 days, 3 months.
Okay, so Mary, are you clear on the subsidized wage for the 90, 30, 30, 90, whatever?
You know what? There's a bunch of stuff going on in the background where I'm at, and I didn't hear it. I'm just sorry. If you could just please repeat it for me.
All right, so the 90 days, if you've got a 90-day category 1 youth, and they get moved to category 2, which is 9 months. If they've already had the 90 days of subsidized wage, then they only get 6 months of subsidized wage as a category 2 participant.
And I don't know if it helps to think of what the maximum is for that category they're enrolled in, because they can only be in one category at one time. So if I'm in category 2, then I think 9 months, and how much subsidized time do I already have, and then subtract that from 9 months. That's what you got left.
Okay, thank you. That helps.
But I mean, you got to look at the NOFO and that subsidized wage section, because it's 4 different categories now, and they're all $15 an hour max. That's the same, but the length of time is different, except for 3 and 4 is 12 months for 3 and 4.
So if they went, so Brandon, if they got switched from category 1 to category 2, and then to category 4, they could potentially get a full year of subsidized wage.
Yeah, as long as you were in 3 or 4 last, you could get a year. But now
Okay.
we're talking about that wouldn't be until next program year, because category 1 hasn't started yet.
Okay,
If you're talking about starting in category 1 and then moving to a different one.
yes.
Yeah, so for this program year, the big concern would be if they're in categories like 2, 3, or 4, and then moving like in May or June to category 1, they probably have already used their subsidized time if they're in one of those longer categories.
Right, I would agree. But if they were just doing training and then not subsidized wages, they might not have. All right, and then, okay, so then Shanna asked if the youth worked with one agency, category 1, for the summer, now would like to work with another agency for category 2. Can they switch agencies? Yes, they can switch agencies, but they're still capped at how many subsidized wage days they would receive. Because it's by individual for the subsidized wages. And Veach says, I was understanding that the stipend could be 13 weeks out of the 52 weeks. So Brandon, that's a
For
question.
which category?
Well, it would be 3 or 4 because it's a 52-week subsidy. And then Ariel says it would be extremely beneficial if a dummy's guide to each category and or cheat sheet is developed and shared. So Brandon, if you want to work on that with me, I will.
Okay. So the stipends count towards the total maximum too, just like wages do. So I mean, they're both capped at 52 weeks, but stipends count towards that, just like subsidized wages.
And Lindsay is saying, so if they have already had the 9 months with category 2 or 1 and 2, they can go to category 3 and get 3 extra months. Yes, as long as it's applicable for their development.
Right, and you would use the maximum from the category that they're enrolled in. So if they went to 3, they would have the 12 months, but you have to subtract whatever subsidized wage or stipends that they've already been paid, what amount of time they've been paid stipends and wages.
All right, and then Ariel also says, are we able to move monies from category to category and from line item to line item, for example, from subsidized wages to stipend and or incentive?
Yes.
Thank you, Tammy. All right, I do not see Mike Sandage on the call, so if there's any YEEP questions, I cannot.
Yeah, I can't help with those.
Yeah, I may not be able to get you an answer for that. We do have 81 people on the call, and I've only gotten 69 responses on the attendance poll. So if you guys want to check that out and make sure that you get those in there. I understand that I won't have an answer from Angel of God on the poll. So oh, you're welcome, Ariel. Okay, so things we need done. By December 1st, we need these agencies to have updated their partner information on the service finder. If you need help with that, please look at the directions first. And then if you still can't get it, I will make sure that you get information updated. If you need a new primary contact, that may be something that's hindering you from being able to make the updates. Let me know, we can get that fixed as well. And then we have the updates for the Casey Life Skills. We have update for the numbers, and we have an update for printing the page. We do have a number of other updates that are being worked on that hopefully I have out by, I think the last date that I've got something that I've given for the programmer is November 20th. So on December 1st, we should have some more updates to show you. All right, so I've got B&G Chicago. And where the directions are again for the service finder. Let me go to the Ariel, I'm not sure I understand what your question is. All right, so now on here, if you go to full list of resources, we have request access to CYE. All of this piece up in here are handwritten directions or web pages. And if you look at this PDF for requesting access to partner tools and or becoming a partner, the directions to update the service finder should be on one of those two documents. And then we also have a whole page on partners, and we can get that information out to you if you need that. So I've got Angel of God. How many people from Angel of God are on the call, family? I'm sorry, Mary, how many people are on the call from Angel of God? And then family, how many people are on B&G from B&G?
Okay, it should be 7 people on from Angel of God.
Right. And
Fanny, it's 4 of us from Boys and Girls Clubs of Chicago.
okay, Boys and Girls Club of Chicago is on the first question, but poll didn't launch for you. Okay. So I do have 3 people were able to answer for that. So that means just you. Okay.
Right. They were able to do it. I don't know why I didn't launch on my end.
Okay. I'll get you added to the list. And then I'll get 7 names added in for Angel of God. So that's 8, and that gives me my 81. All right.
Dee, can you hear me?
Yes,
This is Toby. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Okay, I got a serious situation here because I have gone to Illinois Worknet, and my kids have filled out applications, and I've emailed you a couple of times because for some reason I cannot pull them up in the system. I know I needed to be made to get access to it, but I sent in a couple of emails requesting whatever I needed to get in that part of the system so I can do what I need to do.
All right, so I'm putting my email address in the chat pod. Send me an email with your information. Oh, I just sent it to Fanny. All right. The other thing that you need to do is on your dashboard, you may already have access. On your dashboard, you need to look for the applications under DHS Youth.
I did that and they're not there.
So they're not, then what that probably means is A, they didn't do the youth application. B, they picked the wrong agency.
No, because I made sure they picked New Original Ministries.
Okay.
Now, the section that you're talking about as far as, I tried it under, I think it was like 2020, 21.
No, don't pick a year. Just have it be on that select.
Okay. All right then. I'll try it again because I've got like about, I don't know, almost 20 kids who have gone through this, and a couple of them were having a hard time even getting into the system. So I had to have them recreate another, what do you call it, email, and go back in and do it all over again. And, I want to make sure that, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
All right. You may be confusing the system by having them have a second email address because it goes by social security number if they enter that.
Okay.
So you may have confused the system.
Okay,
The first time you have an issue with something, send me an email. Because
okay.
we don't want to have all these extra profiles in the system.
Wait, that was only for maybe 1 or 2.
Okay, all right,
It was just for 1 or 2.
all right. Then once you enroll the person, then you have to filter by category. That's what's happening to a lot of people. They can't find their youth because they're not looking under the right category. But in the majority of times when somebody is saying, I can't find my youth, the youth did not do the youth application.
Well, I'm 100% positive my kids did the application.
Okay, all right. So do some more checking and then send me an email if you still
Okay, but you said don't pick a year, just go to yeet.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. So you would filter, and I'm in test or else I'd just go there.
okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey D, can I ask a question?
Sure thing.
Okay, so I am super new to this. And so I've been watching the videos on the website from your previous recordings. And I'm trying to figure out, so I kind of worked backwards. So all of my youth signed up for profiles so that they can complete the Employment 101 assessment, pre and post assessment. And so they've done all of that prior to doing any application or assigning themselves to the Community Education Network.
Yeah,
So I
did
believe
it backwards.
yeah, so I believe I saw on one of the videos you said that I should be able to, if they already have a profile, I should be able to send them the application as well as add them to my community education network, or what do you suggest? I don't want to have to do a lot of back and forth.
Send them the link to the application if you're doing this remotely. And then tell them to pick your organization out of the list. Make sure that they pick that one or else it's going to mess it up. And then they should show up in your dashboard if you're looking for it would be under DHS Youth initially for the application. And then once you assign them, it goes into one of these other categories. So Daryl, do you have access to the customer support center?
I believe, I don't think so. Like, I don't even know, I've never seen the pages that you're manipulating today.
Alrighty then. Send me an email after the meeting and you and I can touch base.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I see Sam just chuckling down there. Yeah, I've been there, done that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. It's like, wow, I'm not the only one.
All right, Ariella, did you figure out how to re-ask your question?
No, Dee, I'm sorry. If I think of it, I'll email you, but thank you.
Okay, all right. All right, did I get everybody's question answered? I think I did. All right. All right. Brandon, do you have anything else you want to say?
Just thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for your time.
All right, we'll talk to everybody on December 1st unless you've got issue and you know how to get a hold of me. Have a
Thanks,
great rest
Dee.
of your day, everybody. Oh, Anthony, I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to stop the recording. If you're still on, share your screen with me.